I came with my sister, she's in kindergarten. We came to support Palestine.
So do you believe Israel is a genocidal state?
Absolutely.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Mississauga, Ontario. And folks, I'm standing outside Garthwood Park Public School. And guess what? We are watching a pro-Hamas or pro-Palestine demonstration taking place. Certainly nothing new about that going back to the infamous date of October 7th. But what is new is just check out the ages of the demonstrators. These are, if you can imagine, grade 5 students who are demonstrating here. And the question is, who is behind this indoctrination? Why would parents, regardless of where you stand on the Israel-Hamas war, why would parents allow elementary school age children to be, well, quite frankly, used as pawns? Well, we're here to check it out. Hopefully, we'll be able to speak to a couple of the adults who are here and find out what's going on. But I think it's amazing. I think back to when I was in grade 5, I think I was still watching cartoons back then. I had no idea of international affairs. So really, what are these children being told, and who is indeed telling them the narrative that they are supporting, which seems to be a ceasefire now, which I think would be disastrous for the state of Israel as they wage war with Hamas. Anyways, let's go and talk to some of the parents and try to figure out what indeed is going on. Hi guys, just wondering who the organizer is for this walkout.
Our kids in grade 5. They organized this.
Grade 5 students are aware of what's going on in the world?
Of course, they are part of it.
Okay then. And who are the kids that are the ringleaders of this protest, ma'am?
My daughter and her friend.
Oh, okay then. And they're saying a ceasefire now, right?
Yeah, because our family living in Gaza.
Okay.
And many of them were killed in this war.
What is your opinion of what happened on October 7th?
More than 95 of our family.
I'm very sorry to hear that, but what do you make of what happened on October 7th, the massacre in Israel?
Well, definitely what's happening, it was totally wrong because it shouldn't happen from the very beginning.
Okay then. What's going on? Who organized this?
So it's really clearly the community, the children, the parents. I came with my sister, she's in kindergarten. We came to support Palestine.
Okay.
We came to talk about it. We came to educate people, hopefully, and just to spread the word that we support Palestine.
Well, folks, you never know who you're going to bump into at a demonstration. It's Joe Warmington. He's one of the good guys in the mainstream media. Joe, you're a father of a young lad. What do you make of grade 5 students being, I don't know, enlisted to take a stance on the Middle East?
Well, I think it's something that if you want to do that as a parent, you do it away from the school and maybe at one of the protests, that kind of thing. So I think the question that you're asking is during school hours and involved with the school facilitating it.
But sir, isn't it true? I mean, if the Israelis lay down their weapons, there's going to be more massacres, whereas if Hamas lays down their weapons, there will be peace.
The question will be why all this started from the very beginning.
And what is the beginning exactly?
The beginning, because beginning is not October 7th. The beginning is 75 years ago.
Aren't we actually talking about 4,000 years ago, the ancestral home of the Jewish people?
Well, anyway, today we are here just to cease fire.
And ma'am, can I ask, what would you say to people who say that using children as young as grade 5 students, that's really using children as pawns, that's indoctrinating children? Is that a valid criticism?
Like, we are not using the children. These children, they have relatives there also. So the children in Gaza also, they have the right to live in peace, right?
In my belief, it is the right thing that we're teaching them.
Which is what exactly?
Which is that Palestinians have the right to their land, which is that Palestinians have the right to their freedom of speech and their rights as human beings.
Okay, then. But when we look at the Gaza Strip, Israel has been out of there since 2005. But ma'am, I guess what I mean is, do they condemn what Hamas did in Israel on October 7th, the massacre?
Okay, so about that, see, they for my kids are from Palestine. Okay, so they feel that all kids should feel safe in every country, in every city.
The nature of the chants, eradicating Israel, death to the Jewish people, that's what I have personally heard that. Why is that kind of rhetoric being espoused here in Canada?
You see, the point is, when we talk Israel and we talk Hamas. We don't talk about Israel and Palestine. Hamas is part of Palestine. Palestine is a country, is a people.
But ma'am, what do you say about the massacre that happened in Israel on October 7th of this year?
Well, that's why they tried it. It did not start on October 7th. And it was
No, I'm talking about the massacre where I think, almost 1,400 Israelis were killed, most of them civilians.
Can you justify 75 years of genocide?
So do you believe Israel is a genocidal state?
Absolutely.
Okay, then.
Absolutely. You cannot take somebody else's land. You cannot take somebody else's home. We're okay with supporting the Ukrainians, of course. We're okay with supporting the indigenous after what happened. But this is the same reoccurring genocide, but we just choose to be blinded because the Western media wants us to be blinded by it.
But ma'am, isn't this the ancestral home of the Jewish people?
To my belief, no.
No.
It could be to their beliefs, that's fine.
All right.
To my belief, it is not. To my belief, it is the Palestinians' land.
I think back to when I was in grade 5. For goodness sakes, I wasn't reading newspapers, I was reading comic books. We get the narrative from the parents that this was an organic idea by the grade 5 students, that they're educated on what's going on in the Middle East, which is a very complicated issue even for you and I. Do you buy that?
I think the question is, no, I think that there's people in the school board that need to be questioned about this. We've asked them questions, they haven't answered about it. The school belongs to the taxpayers. All of this is the taxpayers of Ontario. And so the question is, is it appropriate to let kids come out in the middle of the school for a political protest? And particularly since they're talking about things like, Palestine will be free and different political statements. It's sort of uncharted waters.
Now, folks, the principal of this school, Carolyn Saucy Grant, has issued a statement about the demonstrations here, and it reads in part, Dear Garthwood Park families, some students are planning to participate in a peaceful demonstration in response to the current conflict in the Middle East during the 2 nutrition breaks. This demonstration does not have official endorsement from the school or the Peel District School Board. By participating in this student-organized walkout, students are expressing their democratic right to engage in peaceful protest. Demonstrations in Peel schools have been and must continue to take place off school property. It is important to note that supervision is not available once students leave the premises. And then it goes on to talk about compassion to the kids and dignity and human rights. Are you buying that, folks? The principal here and the Peel District School Board shrugging their shoulders and saying it's a peaceful demonstration, it's free speech. What if we went back 1.5 years ago? What if we saw students in an elementary school walk out and demonstrate against, mandatory masking, the vaccine mandates Do you think that would be tolerated?
We can't stop them from them expressing themselves and what they feel, what they want.
But, so what I'm getting to, how would you answer critics who say you are using children as pawns, you are indoctrinating children that really don't have a full...
Who said this? Who uses the kids in those scenarios?
Well, I see kids being used right now in this demonstration.
No
and
one uses them, by the way. Again, this is their freedom to express themselves.
Well, folks, I'm reminded of that old saying that's used by marketers on Madison Avenue or Marxists peddling their ideology on campus. And it's simply this: get 'em young, get 'em forever. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, are you as disturbed as we are in terms of the rhetoric in the streets of Western cities regarding the Middle East conflict? Well, please put your name to our newest petition, which is CanadaStandsWithIsrael.com. That's CanadaStandsWithIsrael.com.